Welcome to our YouTube channel.
I'm JP.
I'm Devin. This light's not turning green. Fuck.
We've been the owners of Boosted Shades for a little over 2 years now, and something that we've always been interested in doing is vlogging. The first thing we were going to talk about is our current project, which is this 1980 911. And basically our plans for 400 wheel horsepower. There's a ton of cars out there that got way more than that, but this is a very light car, so 400 should be a pretty good number and a pretty achievable goal.
So we moved here in November, and we moved in, and luckily we ended up with one of those situations where we got some pretty cool neighbors. We noticed that one of them had an older Porsche sitting in its garage. We decided to ask him about it. Apparently it's been hanging out for a little while and needed a bit of work. So we couldn't resist but to buy it.
Okay, so anybody who buys a new car, if you're anything like me, if you're anything like Devin, you want to know everything about it. And that involves going online, going on forums, YouTube videos, all that. And we got to see all these other builds. As cool as the car is, and as vintage and as classic as it is, it's not as exciting as some of these builds people were doing. We thought that if we're gonna buy the car, we're gonna have the car, and it's gonna take a while to restore it, why not have some fun with it? If anything, we could revert it back to stock when it's time to sell it. So that was our plan, is to fix it up, and at this point, drive it for a few years and do a low boost setup.
We picked up the car, and very first thing we notice is that the rear end is sitting about 2 inches lower than it should, with the front end not having anything done to it, making that sit about a quarter to half an inch higher than it should. So it was tilted. We're like, okay, this thing's got some suspension problems. We definitely need to deal with this.
We found this really nice local shop run by this awesome dude named Jay, and we thought that bring it there and see what he says about the suspension. I did some reading on Google, you know, I did my research, and it turns out that the torsion bars in this car and the height management is not something that somebody with limited experience with Porsches should do. And we instantly sought out somebody like Jay to at least give us a quote. Now, eventually we decided to go with, you know, thicker torsion bars, which makes it stiffer. We went with new shocks. We got the height corrected to Euro spec, and this is where the story kind of turns a little bit.
So we get a call, and they're like, "Hey, we took her for a spin around the block. We noticed a little bit of a growl out of the engine. We noticed the same. We were thinking could be possibly an exhaust issue. We're hoping that it wasn't something with the engine." Jay gets back to us and he's like, "Yeah, there's a possibility that it could be an issue with the head studs." And we're like, that doesn't sound too fun.
Just for peace of mind, we said, you know what, pull off the valve covers, take a look.
So we get the call from Jay. He tells us, "Look, man, I got some bad news." He says we got 2 broken head studs on the left side and asks us what we want to do.
Devin gets on the phone with him and asks him, "You guys can obviously do head studs, right?" Jay sends us an email about the work that goes into doing this, and it's a sheer labor cost. The parts really aren't expensive. It's just they got to break the motor down to the case, but everything that goes into it on these cars generates a price tag, I shit you not, $15,000 to $20,000. So at this point, we both know that this is something that we're gonna try to do ourselves.
This issue coming up kind of changes the course for our plans initially of a low boost build.
If we're gonna have it broken down to the case ourselves, why not put some supporting mods in there so we could run much higher boost?
Oh, this guy's trying to get in. I'm filming shit, sorry bro.
So the first step in this whole thing is to convert it to electronic fuel injection. We're gonna go with Mega Squirt.
Ah.
This guy can't. Holy shit, dude, what are you trying to shift to?
We're gonna go into not a gear that's there.
The first issue with these cars in a high boost setup is the CIS, the continuous injection system. This thing's basically black magic. If you want to look it up, I'm not going to spend my time explaining it. It's going to make this video way longer than it needs to be. The second issue with these cars, the SC version specifically, is too high static compression. The 930, which is the 911 turbo, the turbo version of this car that everybody knows, has much lower compression. We could keep the compression that it has and do like a super big intercooler, but to avoid that, since we have the motor broken down, we're gonna have the heads off.
We decided to go with lower compression pistons. This company, JE, they'll make pretty much any length, any stroke pistons that you need for a decent price.
So the goal is at this point to get these pistons. We got 930 turbo cylinders already. We're gonna get big old injectors, and I think we're gonna go with a Garrett GT30 turbocharger.
The goal with documenting this whole build is to show you what it's really like when you want to have a project car and you want to build something like this. Strip bolts, smashing a finger, roadblocks, there's all sorts of hurdles that you need to get through in order to actually successfully go through this. So we're looking to be as transparent as possible and show you all the little things that happen.
You could probably see how smelly it might be. It's very smelly. We're gonna bring you from the start to the end so you guys can get a window into what goes into making a car as the one we plan to make.
Every pain in the ass that we encounter, you'll
And
know.
there's gonna be a lot. This guy slices his finger open almost once every project we do. The other series of videos we want to do with our YouTube channel is a lot about our journey as business owners, how we started our company Boosted Shades, what our plans for the future are, just daily life in terms of running and managing an online business.
We're going to experiment with a few different types of vlogging.
It's not great, but it's alright.
Doesn't feel awesome. Alright guys, as we wrap this up, we want to thank you for watching up until this point, and we want to give a very special thank you to everybody who supported us so far through Boosted Shades, which makes this entire Porsche build and makes this entire video series possible.
So our first business vlog's right around the corner, and a major portion of that is answering any questions you guys might have.
So we actually have things to talk about. It's important that you guys drop us a line in the comments, message us on Facebook, through Instagram, even Snapchat. Believe it or not, we do open your Snapchats. Some of them are really stupid. I don't care if you're brushing your teeth, and I don't care what you're eating for lunch.
Also, we're gonna get right into the 911. Also, we're gonna get right into the 911 build in our next video. We're gonna get the 911 up on stands, drop the engine, and start tearing away the fuel injection system.
We've never worked on a Porsche before, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We also have some awesome giveaways planned. We want to give away some of our top products, some apparel, maybe even some pre-release products. The only thing you have to do is like this video, comment on the video, and subscribe to our channel.
We'll see you next time.